I'm looking forward to this next presentation from the Palm Beach County Office of Resilience. So if we could have, I don't think we need to have a roll call. I think we have the same group that we had earlier today. So we're going to just go ahead and proceed. Go right ahead with the staff report.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Houston. I'm the Resilience Director for the Office of Resilience. I'm happy to be joined here by my full team, Stacey, Javion, and Natalie, as well as Paul Linton, our Water Resources Manager and resiliency collaborator on many things, all things water related, as well as Patrick Rudder, Deputy County Administrator. So before starting into our project activities, I'm going to introduce two of our staff members. Then we will go through some project updates, talk about some grant applications that we've been pursuing, as well as some Climate Summit annual events that we'll highlight.
I think we've all been provided with a workshop summary from your office.
Yes, or you should have copies of the presentation in front of you.
Yes, we have it.
Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I am pleased to introduce two new staff who are new to this table. I think this might be the first time Stacey and Javion have been up here, even though they've been with the county for about 6 months. Stacey has a BS degree in geography with an environmental studies concentration from FSU and a master's in GIS from Johns Hopkins University. She has a background in strategic planning, data analysis, and program evaluation. She also went to Park Vista High School. And then Javion Green has a BS in business administration with a sustainability minor from the Florida Institute of Technology. He's currently getting a master's in sustainability from the Everglades University. He has a background in finance and sustainability and also went to a public school in Palm Beach County, Royal Palm Beach High School.
Very good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We will
And
not give you a hard time.
You'll hear from them in a little bit. Before diving into some Office of Resilience projects, I'm going to provide some context on our operations. This is it for our full-time staff. We have 4 people, as well as 1 part-time staff person, Jenna Saderman. And we have a pretty lean personnel budget as well as an operations budget. Most of the funding for operations supports our membership with the Southeast Florida Regional Climate Change Compact, which is a 4-county partnership with Miami-Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties. We do have some operations expense to support our EV electric vehicle pilots, and as well as reimbursable grant expenditures that have to be added into those revenue and expense line items. This is a slide showing our Office of Resilience budget. It shows the funding that we spend versus what we've actually budgeted. It does look a little wonky because we are getting these 100% funded reimbursable grants. So if we get $1 million in or $500,000 in, we have to first put the money in the budget and then draw down from it later. So that's why you have these staggered graphs. We also do request funds for planning a large summit every 4 years, which we just brought back to the board, I think, a few weeks ago, as this duty rotates among the Climate Compact Partnership. Since 2021, we have received $5 million in grants directly to the Office of Resilience and our direct partnerships through grants and in-kind support. We've also helped other county departments acquire over $18 million in funding. Currently, we have $57 million in grant applications that are pending, so please think good thoughts for us. And those are going to help fund cost-effective resiliency investments. Regarding Property Assessed Clean Energy Program fees, that's PACE. We started implementing an administrative fee in June of 2023 to offset staff time for having to oversee and ensure compliance with that PACE ordinance. So in that first 7-month period, we've collected $27,000 to offset Office of Resilience staff time. With just a handful of people, we do have to be mindful of presentations and outreach, so we don't have a dedicated outreach person, though we do very often participate in stakeholder presentations and have presented at over 180 events in the last few years. So next, Stacey will share some project updates that she's working on.
Thank you, Megan. So first, I'd like to provide some information on our vulnerability assessment and our resilience action plan, or VRAP as we refer to it. That's good. The VRAP is funded through 2 grants. $500,000 was awarded through the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and $800,000 was awarded through the Florida Department of Commerce. The first phase is the vulnerability assessment, which focuses on evaluating the exposure and sensitivity to climate-related impacts in the western communities, unincorporated Palm Beach County, and to county-owned or maintained assets.
Can I go back to that for
Sure.
just a minute? Assess the county's unincorporated area, western municipalities, and county assets. Is that something that you've already done or you're working on today?
Yes, that's what this vulnerability assessment has worked on.
Very good. And the grant came from the federal government or from a private agency?
We got 2, so they came from 2 different grants, one from the Department of Environmental Protection and one from the Florida Department of Commerce.
And is it possible that when you're done with this assessment, that you could provide the county commission with what your project revealed?
Yeah.
Yes, that is something we have been sharing, and we should have sent an update a couple of days ago. So we are, but the next step is to have the public access maps showing and displaying that information, because we are getting very user-friendly maps that show the susceptibility to sea level rise or flooding or heat, and that's something that we want to help share and display. So Stacey's going to show a couple of examples of that in the next couple of slides.
This would be very interesting because I represent the unincorporated area. I'm not so concerned about sea level unless it's really bad.
Right.
But I would like to know about some of the potential climate threat impacts to our unincorporated area. And I wonder if you could, when would that be available for us to review?
So you have a packet now that we've sent that's specific on your district, and so we have met with commissioners to try and, we understand it's a large county, so we're trying to share district by district maps of relevant hotspots in your area, so we will follow up with you directly about that. And then we are producing a tool that the public will be able to access, that we're hoping that our commissioners, if you are so inclined, will be sharing that with your residents as well.
I'd like to see that for my own use.
Yes.
When it comes to development in the unincorporated areas and what kind of potential climate changes we could be subject to and that. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Okay. All right. So the funding provided from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection focused primarily on impacts that are related to flooding, including sea level rise, tidal flooding, storm surge, rainfall, and compound flooding, which is a combination of sea level rise, storm surge, and rainfall events. The funding that was provided from the Florida Department of Commerce focused on the 7 additional hazards, which are coastal erosion, drought, extreme heat, non-coastal or inland flooding, severe storms, high wind, and wildfire. The vulnerability assessment identified certain areas in Palm Beach County that are more likely to be affected by climate change, particularly flooding. And these areas were cross-referenced with the locations of critical assets such as fire stations, certain government buildings, lift stations, et cetera. This will assist in the prioritization of where the adaptation response should occur. Our consultant, Tetra Tech, developed a series of maps like the one shown here of downtown West Palm Beach, showing where the assets are located. This way it can visually explain why they're considered hotspots. Here we have some examples of compound flood maps of the West Palm Beach area from the vulnerability assessment as well. It shows us the outcome probability of flooding events caused by sea level rise, storm surge, and rainfall events. Both maps here for the year 2100, both are predicting outcomes of a 100-year, 24-hour rainfall event. The difference is the map on the left is adding in a 100-year sea level rise and storm surge event, and the map on the right is for a 500-year sea level rise and storm surge event. So here, what is a 500-year flood event? This is a 500-year flood has a 0.2% chance of occurring in any given year. These floods are more severe and damaging than any typical flood, but the risk of such event remains the same each year regardless of past occurrences. Understanding the odds of these types of floods is essential for designing infrastructure that can withstand extreme events and protect lives and property. The second phase of the vulnerability assessment is our resilience action plan, which will establish resilience goals for Palm Beach County along with a plan for how to achieve them. It'll prioritize solutions through public involvement, aiming for social equity. Additionally, it will outline a strategy to achieve a net zero greenhouse gas emissions, including 30 representative projects with cost estimates. The final vulnerability assessment report will be complete by the end of this month, literally by the end of this week. We'll be holding public workshops for resilience action plan input in early 2025 with the hopes of producing a draft resilience action plan by July 2025 and a final resilience action plan by December 2025, which is just in time for our 2025 climate summit, which will be hosted in Palm Beach County. In addition, we have another project as well, which is in response to a $1,086,000 grant that Palm Beach County received from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to partner with 6 municipalities on vulnerability assessments. When the vulnerability assessments are complete, the municipalities will be compliant with state requirements and may be eligible to apply for FDP implementation funds. And we're partnering here with the town of Cloud Lake, town of Glen Ridge, Village of Gulf, Town of Haverhill, Town of Hypoluxo, and Village of Palm Springs. We're currently working with purchasing on procuring a consultant for this project, and then we can begin coordinating with the 6 municipalities, assemble a steering committee, and hold public workshops for community input. Palm Beach County has also received a $1 million grant award from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to help us increase tree canopy coverage in the Glades communities. The project will plant 376 trees across 6 county parks and give away 2,000 native and fruit trees to Glades residents. In addition, the project will also pilot an urban orchard to increase community food resilience and will include community outreach, education, and workforce development for youth to learn how to plant and care for the trees. Now I'll pass the mic to my colleague Javion to share some insights on the EV pilot program and PACE efforts in Palm Beach County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ceci. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start with the updates for the EV pilot program. We're making steady progress with the pilot program, and we're monitoring the data that is established at the established charging stations here at the Gulf Center and at the Convention Center. Currently, we expect the next stage at the Vista Center to be completed in early 2025, with the Judicial Center and the 4th Street surface lot still in early planning stages. On average, we're recovering about 7% of the cost each year for the projects, and the utilization rate is averaging 9% with increasing trends. We're aiming for 15% utilization because that's considered the industry standard. And we're conducting the pilot to learn about best placement for EV chargers, infrastructure needs, and different fee models. All right. I have some data and some stats. Although it is only a pilot program, it's already made a significant impact, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Over the course of the pilot, we have avoided 13,098 kilograms of greenhouse gas emissions. This would be the equivalent to planting 333 trees and letting them grow for 10 years, or avoiding 56,151 miles of gas-powered vehicle travel, or not using 2,015 gallons of gasoline. Next, we're going to highlight the PACE program. For 2023, there was 1,817 PACE projects that were completed, including 1,799 that were for wind mitigation, 338 for energy efficiency, and 126 for renewable energy. The energy efficiency projects have saved enough energy to power 850 homes, whereas the renewable energy projects have produced enough energy to power 115 homes, for a total equivalent of 920 homes powered by energy savings and production from these projects. Starting on June 1st, 2023, The PACE projects in Palm Beach County were subject to a $25 fee per project and a $500 fee per PACE agreements. Projects from June 1st to December 31st in 2023 totaled $27,175 in revenue for the Office of Resilience. Recently, there's been some updates to the PACE program. On July 1st, 2024, the state of Florida passed State Bill 770. The bill increases consumer protections statewide, includes septic to sewer improvements, and requires third parties to execute agreements with local governments in which they intend to operate. We're evaluating the new legislation and will update our ordinance and program administration accordingly. We are also currently collaborating with public affairs and other counties in Southeast Florida to communicate the PACE updates about the PACE program to the public. Additionally, we're reaching out to the PACE providers to address and eliminate predatory marketing practices. Next, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Natalie.
Thank you, Javion. The Office of Resilience has been very busy applying for grants. We've submitted 7 applications in the last 2 months, partnering with other county departments, local nonprofits, and other organizations to fund adaptation and mitigation projects. So last year, we applied for multiple Resilience Florida implementation grants, and we were awarded $4 million for an engineering and public works project to update and raise the Prosperity Farms Road Bridge. This year, we're reapplying with some of the same applications, but we received feedback from Resilient Florida on how we could strengthen them, and we've updated the applications accordingly. So we hope to score more competitively in the 2024 Resilient Florida grant cycle. This year, we also assisted the Water Utilities Department with their Resilient Florida applications for 2 water treatment facilities by providing necessary vulnerability assessment report data for them. We also partnered with engineering to request an additional $4 million for their Australian Avenue project on top of the $13.3 million that they previously received from the program. And the Resilient Florida program also has planning grant opportunities. So the Office of Resilience partnered with multiple local municipalities, environmental resources management, water resources manager, on a planning grant focused on shoreline protection adaptation measures in the Back Bay areas of the Lake Worth Lagoon. And we provided technical assistance to Jupiter Inlet Colony on their vulnerability assessment, application, and adaptation plan. And in August, we submitted 2 applications to the EPA Community Change Grant Program. For our Track 1 application, we partnered with Community Partners of South Florida, Palm Beach County Cooperative Extension, Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation, Community Greening, and FAU Pine Jog on a $20 million application to implement and expand sustainability landscaping practices in Palm Beach County. This includes funding for an electric landscape equipment swap program and supports sustainable landscaping practices in Palm Beach County. The electric landscape swap program will fund the purchase of equipment that has been on the market for a while now. It meets the needs of our stakeholders and reduces air and noise pollution. This grant would help cover the initial costs of equipment, which can be prohibitive for low-income residents and smaller businesses. And the sustainable landscape component of the project will fund tree plantings, tree giveaways, Florida-friendly and native plant education, and some demonstration gardens around the county. And the last grant I'll talk about was also an EPA Community Change Grant. This was a Track 2 application, and we partnered with Community Partners of South Florida and the Clio Institute on a smaller $3 million proposal, and this would fund meaningful community engagement with our local community-based organizations. So next, I'll pass it back to Javion to speak about our upcoming Southeast Florida Climate Leadership Summits.
Thank you, Natalie. Through the Southeast Florida Regional Climate Change Compact, we host an annual summit with the South Florida elected officials, local government, business, academic, and nonprofit leaders to share resiliency best practices. We all rotate responsibility to host this event, and the next one is, the next one will take place in Key West this year, and their theme and focus is Keys for Resilience. As you may recall from prior board items, Palm Beach County is proud to host the 2025 Climate Summit at the Palm Beach County Convention Center. We expect to have over 600 attendees, especially since Broward and Miami-Dade had about 900 people register in the last 2 years. We expect the theme to be Roots of Resilience, Cultivating a Sustainable Future, to highlight the South Florida leaders creating foundational changes in business practices and operations that will ensure we have a sustainable future. We hope you all save the date now and can attend next year. I'm going to pass it back to Megan to close us out.
All right, thank you, Javion and everyone. So in closing, we want to summarize that the Office of Resilience is able to accomplish this work, these projects, these initiatives through a variety of methods. We do pursue grant funding opportunities, and we help develop project ideas with our partners, going out, figuring out what our community partners need, what our municipalities need, and aligning those with the opportunities coming down the pipeline. As a small office, we rely extensively on collaboration. So we mentioned engineering, all of these department directors are just great leaders in their own right, and then have been really receptive to including resiliency in the work that they're doing. So we try to support that as best as we can. We also, on the innovation side, we try to stay up to speed on emerging practices, best practices, what's tested, what's right now, available for the county and a good investment. We're talking about cost-effective investments. And when we need to take a pilot approach, we do that rather than fully launching something outright. And then finally, we help set the county's strategies for including resiliency in plans and policies. One example is that we're working with the planning division right now to review our comprehensive plan and see where resiliency might need to be interwoven, where we can integrate it into this planning tool, make recommendations, and see if we need to update anything. So we expect to be coming back to the board on that initiative in 2025. So in summary, we're here and this was to provide an update. There's no ask today, so we're here for you and happy to take any questions or comments from the board. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Commissioner Bernard and Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Just two things. On your slide 26, the funding that you requested, the additional funding for the Australian Avenue project, that's something that I've been working on for a long time, and just want to thank you and the engineering department in terms of seeking funding from Tallahassee so in that way we can complete this project that's needed right here in West Palm Beach. And I do have a question on your slide 20 for your EV pilot program. What's the fee model that you said what's the fee model that you're using? And I'm just curious to see how can we increase the utilization if the fee model is the reason why, people are not using it.
Right, great questions. Maybe I'll start and Javion can fact check me as we go along. The government center was our first site, and it's here, right in this, connected to this facility. And at the time that we installed it, West Palm Beach was offering free EV charging at their garages. So as a market choice, somebody's going to go and park where it's free. We were leasing the equipment from the vendor, a few $1,000s a year for 6 EV spots, and then they set the rates, and they were trying to make it, comparable with market prices. So everyone has an app on their phone; they can see what the chargers are charging. And then the convention center was the second site. So we're seeing much better utilization rate at that site where you're going there, you might be driving in from a different county, you're gonna park your work car and you charge for that day. That's where we're getting the good averages on the utilization rate. And the fee there, we set the rate ourselves and we pay more for leasing the equipment, but we receive the revenue back. So we're testing out different fee structures. We try to align it with market rates so that we're not charging anything out of the ordinary.
So you had mentioned that, so how was the city of West Palm Beach providing it free and the county was charging
They made a policy decision to support electric vehicles and offset those costs for their users as a way to promote electric vehicle technology. Our approach was different. We're seeing it as more of an amenity, and if people want to pay for that and use that, that's great. So, but we did not have the same kind of policy direction to offer free charging.
So please explain to me how we didn't make that policy decision.
That's a good point. Well,
Okay.
yes, for it.
I think when we started, certainly county administrator budgeted a lot of money on the capital side to bring it about initially. And I think also, as you're seeing as a pilot project, wanted to have an apples to apples comparison as we brought it along and know if we're charging for it, what the real world was going to look like. And as we move into year 3, and we've seen it slowly growing and getting closer to that target number, the idea was to do it the way you would ultimately want to run the program.
But I guess what I'm concerned about is just that, you know, I see we have a representative from FPL that's here. You know, like I'm curious to know, like, why did we choose the option of charging where we're not getting the utilization versus I believe that they were trying to offer it to us pretty much, you know, free tour for here, but we didn't choose that option.
And we did have discussions with FPL on the ability for them to bring a program aboard, and we weren't able to reach agreement on a lot of the risk management side language that was out there that did not conform and didn't meet where we wanted to go, and in turn we moved to doing our own thing.
So the city of West Palm Beach was able to provide it for free, but we couldn't get it for free to use it for our county building and county staff.
I can't speak to exactly how West Palm and what deal they struck with FPL. Certainly can tell you what we have done and how we're trying to position ourselves.
But can we reposition ourselves to not have this fee structure for the future? I know that we've already set up something, but for the future, if there's a better option for us to get better utilization, why wouldn't we go that route versus this archaic model that doesn't work?
And I think and this is the benefit of doing it as a pilot, as we evaluate it, we're getting to the end of this initial phase, we will come back and do that very thing if we need
But
to adjust.
we're not in a pilot where you're adding more and more and more, but you still have not brought us a better product in terms of, can we get more? Can it be less for our residents where we can use it better? All you're doing is just adding more, and then it's going to continue to increase the fee for the residents. So, like, what are you doing in terms of, like, creating something that makes it more feasible for our residents?
So 2 things on providing it, the utilization.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Did the Board of County Commissioners vote to charge the residents? Did we vote for it? Was that a vote that we took?
I'd have to go back and look at the item, but I would be surprised if that was not included as part of the presentation when we brought that forward. But I'd want to see it specifically.
So I'd like to, if it's possible, I'd like to see what decisions that we made as a board in terms of, you know, was this an option that we chose as a board? And if it is, can we revisit that option so in that way we can see, you know, what's the best way for us to move in the future? If this is the model that works for us best, then that's fine, but I just would like to know a little bit more, so in that way we can get better utilization out of it.
We can. Yes, sir.
And if I may too, on the convention center project, that model, we can change the fee right now. We can drop it to 0. We don't have that direction to do that. So we're trying to do a cost recovery on that site. So for example, that's a $22,000 just to lease the equipment annual fee. We've recovered about 7% of the cost, so $1,600 just in user fees, and that's where there is a lot of utilization rate, very comparable to the market. And the trend of our government friends is to start charging once. So we're happy, you know, that's why we're testing different options. This option, we don't set the rates. We're seeing how that works. We don't like, you know, it's a different model. Convention center, we can change it every minute, whatever you want to do, but there's a cost associated into that. And so we can bring back some data on how much that would cost if we wanted to lower those rates and be lower than the market is, 50% of what the market is doing. Happy to look into that.
Thank you, Commissioner Bernard. Commissioner Weiss and then Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much for the presentation. I'll start. Let me start by following up on Commissioner Bernard with the EV chargers. Because I had been looking at the convention center parking utilization, which it's relatively low. So, I mean, a lot of days the garage is not even open, so people don't have access to it at all. So I think it's difficult to glean anything other than when you know there's an actual large event going on there. And maybe you can look at, and maybe it's an opportunity to look at when you have a larger event there, to look at the utilization as opposed to every day in general, which many days, like I said, the garage isn't even open. So it's not really a good understanding of what the use there. And then in this garage, for months, or maybe not months, well, yeah, it probably was months, there was like stuff stored where the public charger was. So people couldn't even access them, or maybe they could access one of them because of things that were put there. And I think those two, aren't they also, one of them is for disabled parking only, or maybe they both are?
The ADA accessible one should be used last. So if there are two, we ask people to choose the smaller site and save, kind of like a restroom model, but it should be used last.
But if you see an ADA thing, I don't know anybody that would park there, whether they're charging an EV or not.
Yeah, we'll check the signage on that one again.
I mean, so I just, in order to do that. And then the last thing on EVs is, I know the federal government has been handing out money. I mean, cities are setting up networks of chargers in massive scale, and I know we didn't do anything with that. Is there still an opportunity? Does anyone know if there's still an opportunity to get after that money?
We think that the CFI grant, I forget what it stands for, is something that's been coming out the last couple of years, so we are checking on whether that will be offered again. We did look at it in earnest a couple of years ago, but there's a minimum, right? It's like a $500,000 minimum for public charging, which is great if that's the scale that we're going for. We had come to the board, I believe, in 2023 to talk about what we should do with our EV pilot, right? Do we want to expand? Do we want to keep it at these five sites and do it, slow and steady, or do we want to start really promoting that technology and really investing? And I think the municipalities who have gone for these grants are like, we're going to do, fleet conversion, and we're doing total expansion. And I know I'm joined by my FDO colleague in the back, so I don't want to speak too much about facilities on ESME's behalf, but they are building the infrastructure. So if and when the board does want to decide to expand and increase the EV actual chargers, right? ESME and her team are putting that infrastructure in so it's ready, but we need more direction about how to expand beyond the 5 sites.
Are you all tracking, and I don't know if it's available, but can you track how many registered EVs there are in Palm Beach County?
We can look into that. We do have access to EV permits for installing the chargers at their home sites, but that's not the use case that we're looking for, right? It's the people who need it beyond the home. I think we have state level data, and they approximate it for Palm Beach County, and the last I've seen, we're pretty high usage of EV.
I would think we are.
We are.
I mean, if you look at how adoption how it's happened across the country, I would think we were relatively high. But I think there's certainly an opportunity, and so I would think if there's a way to get that information, we know somebody up at Florida Highway Safety, maybe they can help us.
Yep.
You mentioned, you talked.
If I can add real quick, I just didn't want to interrupt
No, that's
earlier.
okay.
The utilization at the convention center is showing an upward trend. So we're looking at 15% is the industry standard, and we are at 14% this year in 2024. So it has doubled from last year in 2023. We're not seeing the utilization here at the Gov Center. So I just
But I
wanted
would
to
think
add
that if you looked at, if you actually compared that to the days when there were things actually happening there and the garage was open, because to give it a 14, even to say it's 14%, that's probably way undercounting, because there are days when you can't even get in there, so the utilization is probably significantly higher, which then goes to show the need for these kinds of, we're
Yeah.
trying to understand the need, right?
We'll double check the data on if utilization rate is per 24-hour period or just per open site. I think it's 24-hour. Yeah, it's 20. Okay, so you're right. You're exactly right. The utilization might be super great
Yeah.
for the hours that it's open.
I would think.
Mhm.
Okay, and then sea level rise. The mayor asked you, and I when I hear this from people from the western part of the county, that it's sea level rise is not their issue, we have to remind them where all their water goes, which is to the east side of the county. And sea level rise, if you don't have ability for the canals to drain, then you're going to flood out west. So, and if you're not familiar with how the C-51 operates, Mayor, the water comes from the bottom of the C-51. So the gate opens from the bottom, and if sea level is up, that water can't come out. And so what happens is the water backs up in the canals, and it can't drain properly. So sea level rise is all of our problems, whether you live near the coast or not. In Palm Beach County, it's an issue that impacts the entire county, because that's where our water drains. So, little lesson I learned since I have been able to serve with you all, and you've all, and our water people explained it to me very well, because trust me, it took me a while to understand that as well. But yeah, I thought the water came over the top of the dam, and it doesn't. It comes under the bottom.
Is that it, Commissioner Weiss? Okay, Commissioner Baxter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A few questions. As far as the EV component of this, when the batteries in these cars have lived out their usefulness, where are they going in the county?
We're not sure exactly of the, disposal component of that. We are seeing grants at the federal level about how to recycle those properly. In terms of battery in general, we talked to our FPL colleagues about, just solar panels in general, like what do we do at the end of life? So that's an industry is looking into that from our standpoint, but we're happy to dig more on what happens at the end of life, because even the Priuses that have been out for a while, like that's a hybrid, but it does have the battery. So there's case studies about, that type of battery, even if EV has been relatively new.
And do we know what happens when flooding mixes with with the EVs?
We've heard case studies, when flooding mixes with EVs.
Yeah,
I've
when a
heard-
car that has a lithium-ion battery in it is then flooded.
Yeah, it's something to be mindful of. There are,
Because, we're not California, this is Florida. It's not if, it's when.
you mean from underneath?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that goes with public safety of avoiding roads and flooding and everything. Are you going to jump in?
Yeah, I want to jump in as
Yes.
a Tesla owner. I get a notification if there's a storm saying, make sure that your vehicle is out of a flood control area. If it gets, just for kind of rule of thumb, if it gets to the hood, you're going to have problems like anything.
Would you like to explain why?
Because it'll short out like everything else will.
Oh, not just short out.
It can likely start a fire,
And
and okay,
load.
so I'll just hit a summary.
Okay.
Once a battery starts burning, you should not try to put it out with water, because it will be ineffective and just inundate the area. You basically should back off from and let it burn out, and do fire control around it. That's the recommended procedure that's for it. Fires occur in the batteries much rarer than they do in automobiles, but anything is flammable or
electrical is dangerous.
Very dangerous. And
Well-
so, just, this is kind of, I know way more about this than I probably should, just because, the industry that my husband and I are in, okay? So this is not, I see a recipe for disaster. I mean, within the past few weeks, we've seen a house that completely burnt down with their garage, house, everything gone because the EV caught on fire. Like, demolished, wiped out everything. So I have a problem sitting up here promoting or spending, even if it's EPA dollars, towards more charging stations. I mean, if we want to keep the 5 and sustain steady, because I think the question is where do we want to go moving forward? I'm okay if you want to maintain, but to keep expanding on something, and I believe even the EV producers have cut back because they're not able to sell them right now. Again, industry that I'm very familiar with. So I don't see it as smart for us to start promoting more and more charging stations, even if it is EPA dollars, because eventually there's maintenance, eventually there's cost associated, and what's the liability? If they are parked on one of this ground, the street surface lot, and it happens to flood and catches fires, are we liable for any damage that comes from that explosion? Attorney?
Legal answer is it depends. Possibly. That's all I have for you right now.
Thank you, Ryan.
That is, when Patrick mentioned earlier about risk management issues, that was one of the issues between our exploring options where the indemnification or the insurance, we don't like to deviate from Palm Beach County policy because it does protect us. So that was what he was alluding to earlier. We are, building division, there are building codes that are emerging about how to deal with EV charging infrastructure and having garages where you have to have open walls and you can't enclose the charging infrastructure. So our building folks are awesome at what they do when they're coordinating and designing or approving EV. We look at that with our electrical consultants for all of these EV site locations. We're doing a mix of garage and surface lot because maybe surface lot, right? Like if this is a pilot and that's something that's an issue, right? Maybe we only choose surface lot moving forward because there's less exposure. But these are all things we're learning. We're talking with fire rescue just the other day at the building safety convention that the building division hosted because they came over and we're talking about EV. So we are happy to give you more. I mean, you have data, but I'd say the Palm Beach County sector is a higher user of EV related to Florida, and we can find updated information on that because we do see that as emerging and more people are wanting that. And then we can certainly prioritize staying on top of fire safety and building division code that is in best practice.
Well, you've also mentioned parking structure. I believe it was New York that had one collapse because they didn't take into account the added weight from EVs. So, I mean, there's another consideration. They weigh more. Are we building and going to be able to sustain if we start adding a lot of charging stations to our parking garages, that extra weight?
I tell you, that'd be part of the process when you pull a permit. It's evaluated that way. You look at it not just structurally, but mechanically and electrically as well.
I mean, there's a lot of cost and safety issues that go along with this that, I feel seem to get overlooked when we're talking about certain factors. But let's not forget that nothing is perfect. And I, again, would like to stick with just keeping it steady to your question, no more than the 5 sites until we can get more data back and make sure that we have some policies and practices in place to keep our residents in the county protected from liability and them protect their safety protected. That's where I stand on that current issue. Now, I will also expand and ask, because this was my question before the EV stuff came up, the resilience or the EPA dollars, what are they, what are we allowed to use them for?
It
What are the
depends on which grant
restrictions?
are you specifically
Well,
referring to?
I guess there's currently a 1 million, but I'm sure there's other grants and processes that can go, or policies that could go towards resilience.
Well, sorry, are you wanting about this one specifically and then the pending applications as
Well,
well?
let's start with this one.
Okay, Perfect. So this one was very specific, $1 million. We worked with our Parks and Recreation Department and said, what do you need? They had a regreening plan for 6 sites. We said we can fund those 376 trees. We talked with our community who said it's 5%, 9% tree canopy coverage out in the glades. That's not great. We don't want to use our parks. So we decided to allocate funding for resident tree giveaways, and those are the 2,000 trees that you see listed there. There's also food insecurity issues in District 6, of course you know. And so we were testing, would an urban orchard be appropriate because you're going to have a food source, fruit trees, but you need people walking by, people to maintain it so things don't fall on the ground and spoil and become a nuisance. So we're testing out a site as well. So the grant components are very specific as we wrote it. That's what the EPA approved. And so those are the components there.
So I know that the state had and has the resiliency programs to where if you do some hurricane mitigation, you can get I guess you'd call it a refund of sorts, because you spend it and then you submit an application to get dollars back. I mean, if we would like to help give some incentives to our residents and really help with driving insurance costs down, I think we might look towards helping incentivize hurricane and floodplain resilience, as far as maybe matching some dollars to them if they spent it. Maybe there's some way we could set up a program that says, hey, we'll also do something similar and refund you some dollars, because then that ultimately helps everyone bring insurance rates down. And again, we've been talking about floodplain quite a bit. We've been talking, whether it's roofs or hurricane windows or it's whatever you want to talk about, we, the county, could do that as well and incentivize our residents. So that's just something I would like us to potentially look into. And if you guys could just bring us some information on if any other counties are doing it, if anywhere else has something like that implemented, and what is the state criteria, and maybe match something that they do. So thank you.
Happy to do. And just to follow up, are you referring to the My Safe Florida program? I think, yeah, we love that program. We try to promote it. And that's one of those things that when we're talking about predatory marketing, sometimes people are spoofing that program. But as it stands, it's great. I think it's something we want to keep supporting at the state level, but we'll look and see if anyone else is doing additional funding to support that, because it's never enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Woodward, please.
Thank you, Mayor. And just to kind of one added little point on the EVs, probably have similar opinions on as Commissioner Baxter on a lot of this, but I did want to say I don't see a problem with us charging for the usage of the charging stations. I mean, making that free, it's never free. Someone's paying for that. Are we saying that we would pay the bill, the power bill on that? I would not support that. I mean, just like we don't pay people's gas bills either. So however you use to power your vehicle, you can pay for whatever that is. I'll just leave the EV for that. When we had the district meeting, I know you showed some very alarming maps showing, 500-year, 1,000-year, all of that. And I spoke to you then about having more of a focus on what I was calling the low-hanging fruit, especially heat maps, because it was showing areas where we don't have enough tree canopy. And I know that we have the program that we were just discussing for the Glades area, but there's a number of hot spots all throughout the county. And I think it would be beneficial. I know a lot of our cities, I live in the city of Boca, they have a shade tree program, but helping us identify any of those areas all throughout the county where people live, shade is a big benefit for everybody. And if we have it where people are walking or wanting to be outside, our parks have a lot of shade, but neighborhoods need shade. And there's a lot of neighborhoods that have been built with, beautiful sidewalks, and nobody's using them because it's 1,000 degrees when you stand out there. So if we could encourage, the tree canopy, not just in the Glades area, but there's a number of our communities that need it, and maybe they can afford it, and we could do discounted programs or just educating them on which are the better shade trees to plant for Florida that would last in a storm and also provide a nice canopy, not destroy our sidewalks, as some of our communities we're having to cut some of those trees down. I apologize, Delmar. But, just educating people on good trees to plant and how we can partner with our nurseries to get more of that done. Also, on the stormwater drainage, I think every morning for the past week, I've had a downpour in Boca, and I pull up my little map, and we're this little spot, but it's heavy rain. It's that time of year. So helping some of our communities that were built maybe before they put stormwater drainage, is that a resilience type program that we could put together where we can add stormwater drainage on existing roads or in existing neighborhoods? Because like Old Floresta in Boca, it's a beautiful historic neighborhood. It's like Old Venice whenever it rains because there's no stormwater drainage. And I know there's a number of communities that have that also. And lastly, septic to sewer conversions on the barrier islands. I was surprised to learn how many of our barrier islands use septic. And so when we have flood events or king tides, that area is already saturated just because of the use of septic tanks. So the ground, it's like a wet sponge where the water's got nowhere to go. So helping get all of those communities, and if you think about the flooding, I mean, it's the ocean on one side, the intracoastal on the other.
Yes.
I'll let everyone just imagine that. We don't want to be Fort Lauderdale and Broward where some of this is coming up into the streets. So any of our areas that are really close to bodies of water, I think should be a priority to work on getting septic to sewer conversions. And that's the last I have to
Okay,
say.
very good. Thank you. And Ms. Houston, would you give a report back to us, all the commissioners, on the issues that we brought up today? And I know that Commissioner Bernard brought up the issue of EV. I have maybe a general question. Why isn't Tesla coming in and giving us free chargers?
Sometimes they have negotiated those agreements on certain sites. Our airport site has some Tesla chargers. Tesla is at least a couple years ago, right? It's proprietary, so not everyone can use a Tesla charger system. So we were trying to approach a method that would be more universally available for our employees.
Well, we do. We have on the 4th floor.
Right.
They are not consumer friendly. I have an app for Charge Point.
Okay.
It is very difficult to operate, and I go to the cities, Palm Beach Gardens. They have Tesla chargers in parking lots, free. So will you review? I know that Commissioner Bernard had some issues with that, as well as Commissioner Baxter. Would you give us a report back on those issues of, first of all, are we making money on Charge Point in our county government garage? Should we be making money from county employees who we want to use electric cars? Why is it? Are we making money at the chargers that we have at the convention center? Should we? And then what grants are available for us to promote EV chargers wherever there's a county facility? And we have many facilities. I can't believe we don't even have one at the courthouse parking lot. I mean, really. Well, we could make so much money on this if we decide to charge, or we could get a grant for it. And yes, there are a lot more EVs out there. And to Commissioner Baxter's point, is this safe? So if you could give us a report on that, and as well as Commissioner Weiss talked about the flooding on the western areas, we need to know about that as well. If there's flooding in the western unincorporated areas that we can do something about. I think that's an important point. And then to Commissioner Woodward's point with regard to her various points. So if you could give us a report back to all of us on those issues, we'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Anything
thank you.
else?
I was just you're reminding me, we haven't done a user survey in a while. So your feedback about the ChargePoint app and you don't like the
Not
system.
good to
That's
use.
really valuable for us to know. Since they've been online for a long enough time, we can ask our employees, right, what we've preferred. So stay tuned. We'll be launching another user survey for EV.
I don't necessarily need I need to have your survey to us.
Yes.
As to what you are doing for the
Right,
county.
right.
For resilience. We do have one card. Commissioner Weiss, go right ahead.
Mr. Richard Radcliffe.
We don't need a timer. No, we don't need it. I don't think so.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor.
Good afternoon.
Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, and if I'm redundant, I apologize. I was upstairs
right.
dealing with a election issue where I saw this come up and I thought, and also something popped in, so I thought this is relative and it's pertinent. I know it may be going over some of it, but it's an update on the FEMA flood maps, and I don't know if you got an update recently, but, and just for people that don't know, I'm Richard Radcliffe. I'm Executive Director of Palm Beach County League of Cities. I represent all 39 municipalities, and we haven't had our coastal flood maps redone in over 20 years, so it's very pertinent to this.
Wait, excuse me. You have not had the flood maps done in this in the cities for 20 years?
No, FEMA, your United States
Oh,
government,
okay.
FEMA.
No, we may want to wait 30 years from the federal government. I just want to make sure it wasn't us.
So we work
Okay,
very
good.
closely
All right.
with them when they tell us what to do. But we couldn't get them well, they've been working on it now for 6 years. So they have come out, and the new maps affect 23 of the 39 municipalities. We know that, and it affects all your homeowners that now may be in a flood zone, and they will have to have flood insurance. The maps take effect December 20th. The information that I have for you is that we have been partnering with FEMA. Oh, and by the way, this group, I work with them on grants. You're very, very lucky to have Patrick, Megan, the whole crew, Paul. I don't know about Patrick, but the rest of them are magnificent. But no, we work on grants together. But back to so the flood maps are going to go effective on the December 24th. No, December 20th, 2024. And if people don't have insurance, they're not going to have the ability of getting the 18% cap on it. So we needed to get the word out. We worked together. FEMA, county government did a magnificent job. We worked with the cities and the insurance industry. Paul's been involved. And we had three separate public outreaches. This is the only time your residents are going to have the ability to go in and sit down with FEMA, then go to the insurance, go to Palm Beach County, go to your city. We had Boca in Boynton, and they had people come actually in and look at their flood zone. So we had a meeting in Boynton on September 11th for the South Cities, West Palm Beach for your districts. That was done September 14th, and the reason I'm here is Jupiter was set to be done tomorrow evening from 5 to 8. That's the final, was going to be the third of our FEMA flood map outreach. But FEMA has called us and informed us that due to Helene, the hurricane, they will be canceling tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure, considering that everybody's worked so hard to line up all the technical people and everything else, that FEMA did cancel that. So thank you for this opportunity to kind of give you the update. One more to go. We will reschedule it. When we do, we will let you know. But I just got that call when I was upstairs, so I know most.
Thank you.
everybody didn't even
Appreciate it.
So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, no other questions or issues by the members of the board or by staff? I want to thank you very much and welcome the new members as well. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we are ready for the next presentation. And that is on the Lake Worth Lagoon seagrass mapping presentation. Good afternoon.
Oh, these seats are warm.
All right.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, Administrator Baker. It's great to see you all this afternoon. My name is Deb Drum. I'm the Department Director for Environmental Resources Management, and with me today is Dr. Myra Ashton. She is also with as a Senior Environmental Analyst, and this guy, you know, he hasn't moved in a while, Patrick Rutter, our Deputy County Administrator, who also oversees our department. So I'd like to thank Commissioner Weiss for inviting us to come present to you today about, this is a slightly modified version of a presentation that was given to the Lake Worth Lagoon Steering Committee in July of 2024. And it's a short overview. It's to share some good news. Today I'm going to provide a short overview of the importance of Lake Worth Lagoon. It's been a little while. It's been a minute since we've been in front of you to talk about Lake Worth Lagoon. And Myra then will provide an update on the status of seagrass, which is a very key indicator of ecosystem health. And the next slide, that's me. There we go. These photos were all taken in Lake Worth Lagoon. And this kind of shows you, it demonstrates our why we are doing restoration work in our county. And these photos, like I said, they were all taken in Lake Worth Lagoon habitats, and they begin to demonstrate the diversity of species that are found right here as you look out your windows of this building and right here in our front yard in the county. And it also demonstrates why this particular area serves as an important recreation destination for residents and for visitors. There are 4 major categories of economic generating activity related to Lake Worth Lagoon, and you can see the contributing numbers here on the slide. But just a quick summary, business and commerce provides full-time jobs in the majority of the economic activity associated with these numbers. Of note, 60% of the estuary's commercial activity is generated by the Port of Palm Beach, which is a very important thing to remember as we are doing business in the county. In the recreation category, this provides a significant economic impact to our community through fishing, diving, boating, and bird watching activities. Those are some of the major categories that contribute to that. The value of lagoon habitats, inherent and valuable in their own right, which we will talk about a little bit more today, later in this presentation, are supportive of fish and wildlife and climate mitigation. And also increased spending in the local economy, which is also related to increased property values for those homes on the lagoon waterfront. It's been well demonstrated that you do see an increase in real estate values in those areas. You also see a drop in real estate values when you have things like massive algae blooms in lagoon or estuarine areas, and that's also been demonstrated by realtors. So just to orient you a little bit today, to give a little bit of geographic perspective on the lagoon, it's 11.3 square miles and about 20 miles long. And on the left, you'll see the county, the whole county line is outlined on that map on the left in red. And on the right side, the yellow lines show the extent of Lake Worth Lagoon from North Palm Beach in the north down to Boynton Beach in the south. And I'm showing you this map because it shows one of the key hallmarks of our 2021 Lake Worth Lagoon Management Plan, and that was to do a plan that was a watershed-based plan. This is the first time we've done that. Instead of just looking in the lagoon at restoration, we looked up in the watershed to see where are the inputs from the entire watershed instead of just the lagoon proper. There's a little bit of an intersect with what you were just talking about with the Office of Resilience in terms of the connections of our surface waters from west, from Lake Okeechobee to the east to Lake Worth Lagoon and ultimately to the Atlantic Ocean. The Lake Worth Lagoon has a significantly high watershed to estuary ratio compared to other estuaries. So that means the amount of watershed in relation to the size of the lagoon. And the majority of that fresh water comes from the C-51 canal and extends west from Lake O through a canal system to the lagoon. Commissioner Weiss just mentioned that. And due to that high ratio of watershed to lagoon, Lake Worth Lagoon receives a high amount of fresh water, sediment, and nutrients throughout the watershed. Just to give you an example, if you look at Chesapeake Bay, the watershed to lagoon ratio is 14-1. Biscayne Bay is 11-1. So Chesapeake and Biscayne Bay are about the same. Lake Worth Lagoon is 42-1 watershed to lagoon ratio, just to give you some perspective on that. So this demonstrates some of the key challenges that we have when we're working with a largely urban estuary, and that affects habitat and water quality. And seagrass has to contend with these challenges that you see. They are, seawalls, we have hard armor, limited littoral zone habitat, stormwater discharges, sediment loading, muck, water clarity, and light penetration are all things that seagrass has to deal with. limited flushing and high residence time in the central lagoon, where the C-51 empties out into the lagoon from Lake Okeechobee with that very heavily sediment and nutrient-laden water. It goes into an area of the lagoon that's the furthest away from any inlet, so you don't get any flushing, and it ends up looking like that very unfortunate employee walking through the muck on the slide there, and you can see just how deep the muck is. And then algae is also something that we contend with occasionally. So now I'm going to pass it to Dr. Ashton to finish with the results of our lagoon-wide seagrass mapping results to share some of that good news.
All right. Can you hear me? Good. So first of all, we have this lagoon-wide seagrass mapping program, and we do this mapping every 5 years. So this mapping allows us to see large-scale changes in our seagrass species, how they're distributed throughout the lagoon. Not only that, but also it lets us determine where our seagrass beds are, if they've expanded, perhaps if they've contracted. We also determine the coverage of the seagrass in the beds themselves. So are they getting dense, or perhaps are they thinning out? This monitoring was conducted with our consultant, Coastal Eco Group, and they visited over 1,260 sites throughout the lagoon. So that means that they go to each one of these points, they GPS that location, they jump in the water, they were putting their heads in the water and looking at what seagrass species are there, their density or coverage. They're also looking at other parameters such as water quality, they're looking at salinity, how turbid the water is, so water clarity. They're looking at depth, and they're also looking at the sediment. Is it sandy or is it mucky sediment? I'll be showing you several maps, so I wanted to go through briefly the colors that you'll see on the maps. Our dark green color represents our highest density seagrass coverage. That's followed by our lighter green color, where it's lower density seagrass. Yellow is our zone of seagrass occurrence, where we have very sparse grass, and orange is where we haven't seen grass during that monitoring period, but it has been present in that area before. So now the good news, from 2018 to 2023, there was a lagoon-wide gain of 528 acres of seagrass, and that gain was seen throughout all 3 different segments of the lagoon. So our north segment of the lagoon gained 209 acres, our central segment gained 118 acres, while our southern segment gained 201 acres. So 2023 was the year with most seagrass mapped since lagoon-wide mapping started back in 2007. So we had 2,079 acres of seagrass mapped. I'll be showing you a series of maps. On the left, you have the map for 2018, which was our previous monitoring event, and on the right, you'll have the map for 2023, our most recent monitoring event. So the North Lagoon goes all the way from the village of North Palm Beach all the way down to Flagler Bridge in the city of West Palm Beach. It includes the areas such as MacArthur Beach State Park, Munyon Cove area, the Peanut Island area, as well as the Lake Worth Inlet and areas just south of the inlet. Between 2018 and 2023, we saw an overall seagrass increase in the north segment by 209 acres, and this was due to the expansion of seagrass beds, specifically south of the Blue Heron Bridge all the way down to the southern portion of the inlet. We had a total of 1,509 acres in this section of the lagoon. If you look at the map on your left, at the bottom of that map for 2018, there's a lot of orange and a lot of yellow, which indicates very sparse grass or no grass at all. If you look at that same area for 2023, you see that all that area turned green. So that's where we had that really great expansion of seagrass, and it even continued up north of Peanut Island all the way to the Blue Heron Bridge. And another thing that we were able to document through this data is that our distribution of manatee grass extended all the way south of the inlet, and that's really amazing to see because that seagrass was relegated to the northern section of the lagoon in MacArthur Beach State Park and Munyon Cove. Next, I have the Central Lagoon. The Central Lagoon segment extends from
just south of the Flagler Bridge in the city of West Palm Beach, all the way down to the Lake Avenue Bridge in the city of Lake Worth Beach. This section includes the C51 canal, which is that canal right there in the middle of both of the images. Like it has been mentioned, that canal can contribute over 50% of the stormwater and freshwater from the entire watershed into our lagoon. So that lagoon section tends to be more impacted negatively in terms of salinity as well as turbidity. And again, like Deb mentioned, that section of the lagoon does not see that flushing that we see at both of the inlets to the north and to the south, since the northern inlet, so the Palm Beach Inlet is located 9 miles from the C51 canal, and the Boynton Inlet is to the south, is located 8 miles away. In 2018, the sad story was we only had 1.2 acres of seagrass mapped in that entire section. But those areas that had seagrass were 2 of our restoration sites, and our shallow areas around Snook Islands in the city of Lake Worth Beach, as well as in South Cove Natural Area in downtown West Palm Beach. But the good news is in 2023, we had 119 acres of seagrass recorded versus that 1 acre. So that was pretty significant improvement. If you look at the map, you can see there's a lot in the 2018 map to your left. There's a lot of orange, and that's just north and south of the Southern Boulevard Bridge. And if you look at that same area for 2023, all that area turned green. So we had that increase in seagrass acreage specifically there. The seagrass species that we have in the central portion of the lagoon is paddlegrass. I mention it because this seagrass is a trooper, and he can survive and colonize areas that are really mucky and that have higher turbidity, because this seagrass has a lower light requirement for growth than our other species that we see closer to the inlets, where we have a better water clarity. Finally, we have our southern portion of the lagoon, and that extends from just south of the Lake Avenue Bridge in the city of Lake Worth Beach, all the way down past the Boynton Inlet to the south, the town of Ocean Ridge. And this area of the lagoon, back from 2013 to 2018, actually had a loss of 100 acres of seagrass, and that was concentrated in the upper part of the map. You could see, all that orange and that yellow indicate no grass for orange, and yellow, very sparse grass. If you look at that same area for 2023, that orange turned yellow, and some other areas also turned green. So that's where we had an increase of 201 acres for a total of 451 acres mapped in the lagoon. Again, those increases were for that same species of grass, that paddle grass that can survive in those muckier, low turbidity high turbidity environments. But as we move closer to the inlet, we have those other species like manatee grass and shoal grass, because those areas obviously have a little bit better water quality to support those healthy seagrass species and beds. In a summary, there's definitely a lot of fluctuation and variation throughout the years that we've done this monitoring, and also variations in the distribution of our seagrasses throughout the different segments. And we know that multiple factors definitely contribute to the overall shifts in the seagrass habitat that we see over the throughout the lagoon and over time. Our long-term water quality monitoring has revealed a very strong correlation between our seagrass cover as well as water clarity. And we also have a better seagrass cover and salinity. So again, when we have water clarity and salinity that are stable and good, that's when we see our better seagrass beds. In summary, our northern and southern lagoon areas, especially around the inlets, is where we have our majority of our seagrass beds. And again, it's because of that exchange of that salt water from the ocean that gives us conditions that are conducive to support a healthy seagrass habitat. And when you compare that to the central portion of the lagoon, which is much more heavily influenced with that freshwater flow or stormwater flow from the watershed, that could lower the salinities below tolerances for many of the seagrass species. And it also contributes, again, to nutrients, sediments, and contaminants, which definitely are not good for our seagrasses. So we're just very excited to have this long-term, large-scale monitoring program and to be able to deliver this good news that we have this increase in seagrass. The 528 acres of seagrass increase is actually a 34% increase in seagrasses from our last mapping period in 2018, and we're even more excited that we had seagrass in the Central Lagoon where we hadn't seen it in 10 years.
We're very fortunate. We're very fortunate to have professionals like Dr. Ashton and others that bring their credentials and their amazing experience to this work. We really appreciate this board being so willing to hear such a diversity of topics on your workshop agenda today, and we're honored to be included in that. So thank you for your support of Lake Worth Lagoon. It is definitely an important economic driver where economy and environment intersects in our county in a very important way. And we would invite you and all of the public that are watching today to please check out our management plan, which is located at www.lwli.org. It's on this last slide, and anybody can go see the work that we're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that impressive and comprehensive presentation. We have a question from Commissioner Weiss.
I just really, as a comment, I want to thank you, Dr. Ashton. I mean, the amazing work that you and Deb and your entire team do. The seagrass, when I saw this at the Lake Worth Lagoon Initiative Steering Committee meeting, I mean, it's the canary in the coal mine, that both from a negative perspective, when things are not going well, the loss of seagrass as we saw in the lagoon, but then the restoration and the revival of the seagrass is a testament to the great work of the restoration work that's going on in the lagoon, and it's really a testament to the work you all do and all the there's a lot of partners that are involved in this as well, but it's just amazing, and I wanted to have the board be informed on this. This is, we hear about other communities suffering the loss of seagrass, and not to say that it might not happen again to us, but to have the improvement over the last 5 years that we can document it really is great news, and shows the commitment that we have in Palm Beach County to our complete environment, and that includes our lagoon. So just thank you so much for coming out and sharing this great news.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. It's good to end on good news today. I was just curious I know we have the Bonefish Cove project that's starting right now, and there's been a number of other ones. Can you explain how those projects help with the seagrass, or do they? Can you just educate?
Yeah, absolutely, they do. They're actually pretty critical, as we're finding. We are in places where we do see seagrass growth. Many times it's associated with the area adjacent or around one of the projects that we built. So we know that they're important projects, and they're also creating additional habitat. Besides seagrass, they're creating oyster habitat. Those birds that you see, those American oyster catchers and that cute little fella on the left, these are the kind of birds that for many, many years were not seen in Lake Worth Lagoon. And until we started building our islands is when we started to attract birds nesting on the island. So it really is, and the birds that we're finding on our islands are tagged from Indian River County, Martin County, Lee County.
Wow.
These animals don't know political boundaries, but they know habitat. And so they're showing up on our islands, and they're nesting and they're breeding, and then they're going to other places. And so we really are connected. It sounds a little corny to say that, but it truly is the case. And we're seeing that with these, with the birds that are showing up on these islands. They don't show up if there's not food, and seagrass is definitely the basis for all of that.
Thank you.
I don't want to ruin it, but yesterday we were at Bonefish Cove, and there's only half of the island is built at the moment right now. There was 24 American oyster catchers. and a bunch of other birds. We were just looking at the oyster catchers. But
We think
yes.
they're attracted to the color yellow, construction equipment yellow, because they seem to show
Really?
up before these islands are even
Finished.
finished, but
Well,
we're
they-
happy to have them.
Thank you very much. And I agree. Nature will follow where it's clean and healthy, and they know where to go. So thank you for all the work you're doing here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you just do a wonderful job, both of you. Appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any cards, Commissioner Weiss? None, okay. Thank you for that presentation. Okay. I think we are at the point now in the agenda where we are ready for comments by members of the board. I see Ms. Baxter coming up now, so that's good. We'll start from our left. Well, Ms. Baker, do you want to say anything?
From staff, I'm not a board.
Okay.
We have been working on salaries. You gave us direction at our last board meeting regarding your commission salaries and changing, yes, ma'am, and changing the pay scale. We've made those changes. We needed to bring it back to you in the resolution. And so we've been working diligently trying to get it here to you. So I don't know if you want a presentation. It is what you directed us to do. If you want a presentation, we're prepared to do so. If not, I'd like for you to approve the resolution, the item that we're submitting.
It is, I think everybody has a copy of this.
Yes.
I've been reading through it in my spare time up here, and I'm not done with it.
Okay.
And I was wondering if, and I'm going to hear what my colleagues have to say. I wonder if we could just have like maybe a week or so before we take a vote on this. No? You want to do it right now? All right, we'll do it right now. Okay, very good.
Yeah, you.
I have a motion.
You got a motion.
I got from Commissioner Weiss, a second from Commissioner Woodward. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously 6-0.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Baker?
And I'd like to thank staff because they've been diligently working on this issue. And we worked really fast, so
good.
we caught checked the most important things, and I want to thank the Jean from the state, from the county attorney's office, as well as Chief Duran and Wayne Condrey,
All right, good.
along with Maria.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Anything else, Ms. Baker?
No, that's it.
Ah, very good. Commissioner Barnett, any comments?
Thank you, Mayor. September 15th was the start of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we've been to a number of festivals. There are more coming up. We had a chance to attend the Hispanic Human Resources Council over the weekend. The Florida Hispanic American Chamber is having an event tomorrow night at the, I believe it's the Airport Hilton. And there should be a few others. I hope everyone's participating in this important recognition of Hispanic heritage in our county and around the state and in the country. I also wanted to give a shout out to Green Acres Academy in Green Acres. Tomorrow I will see you at 7 a.m. bright and early for See You at the Pole. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Barnett. Commissioner Woodward.
I have a board appointment is now, can I do it under comments? Okay, I just
Sure.
to reappoint Emily Snyder to the Discover the Palm Beaches Advisory Board,
Very good.
and that's all.
Okay. Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. Two things. I will unfortunately not be joining you all on Thursday. I will be in Washington, D.C. as part of my Intergovernmental Advisory Committee with the Federal Communications Commission. We'll be having a meeting up there and presenting our report. And so I'll miss you all, but I see it's a short agenda, so.
We'll miss you too.
Yep. And then I have three reappointments. I'm going to reappoint Perry McDowell Demps to the Library Advisory Board. Tony LaFaso reappointed to the Palm Beach County Sports Commission. And Rick Rose reappointed to Discover of the Palm Beach.
Very good. Thank you very much, Commissioner Weiss. Commissioner Bernard
No comments, Madam Mayor.
and Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have 3 reappointments and 3 new appointments. So I am going to reappoint Mary Lou Bedford to Discover the Palm Beaches. I am going to reappoint Stephen Wallace to the Sports Commission. And I'm going to reappoint Keith Wedgeworth to the Business Development Board. My new board appointments, I'm going to appoint Annie Eiffel to the Library Advisory Board. I'm going to appoint Kylie Harper Larson to the Personnel Appeals Board. And I'm going to appoint Danya Roberts to the Fair Housing and Equal Employment Board.
Very good.
I'll wait. Are we going to do comments separate?
No, this is right now. This is it.
You want to do appointments and comments?
Right, yes,
Okay,
right.
so comments. I would like the support of the board to, and I sent out the memo yesterday.
Right.
To rename our Midwestern Community Services Center as Mayor Fred Pinto Midwestern Community Service Center in memory of him passing away.
Very nice. Do we need a vote on that, Mr. Attorney?
Sure.
Why not?
So
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a first from Commissioner Baxter, a second by Commissioner Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 6-0. Okay, and I have only one comment, and I want to thank the board, my colleagues, for your tremendous attention today to a very long workshop. And it is these workshops where we can really streamline government and make sure that we do the best for our constituents. Thank you so much. With that, if there's no further business before the board, we are adjourned. Thank you.